remember back in the day, trying to get that paper each and every single way. Niggas say they sliding, but they know that we don't play. And they talking murder, but I see that every day. Yeah, I remember. Say I remember. I was all up in.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going over the Dr. Disrespect allegations and evidence based on what we have seen. I am Lady Apricity, aka Shay. You can call me either or. It's up to you. And I'm also joined with my friend here.
Yo, this is your boy, not 1993. How's it going?
So, as you guys have known, probably seen it all of your Twitter timeline. I'm not sure about Instagram. I don't see my news on Instagram, but I do see it on Twitter all the time. You've probably come across, if you're in the gaming community, something about Dr. Disrespect. Nah, I know you have seen everything as much as I have about Dr. Disrespect.
Yep, yes I have.
It's been a whirlwind of emotion. Would you say it would be emotion?
Yeah.
Everything. Holy, we have been.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we have been going through it. Nan and I have been keeping up with everything, tracking all the evidence, everything that we have seen on our Twitter timelines, and that is what we are going to bring to you today. We're going to bring you all the evidence that you may or may not have seen, and we're going to commentate about what we think, what other people have come out stating, and we're going to go through it one thing at a time with you so that you can make the opinion for yourself, because I think that is so important. Would you not agree?
I agree, absolutely.
I think it's really important that we all use our critical thinking skills very heavily in these situations, because like Na just said, they are lacking these days. So I think right now we're just going to jump right into it, and we're going to go into our first bit of evidence we have, which is the initial accusation that brought all of this to light. The first tweet that got everything going from our man here, Cody Connors. Now, do you want to kind of explain who Cody Connors is here?
I believe this was the ex-Twitch employee that wanted to release something out about Dr. Disrespect as to why he was banned from Twitch back in 2020, correct?
Yes. So
2020?
Yeah, he was banned in June of 2020.
Yeah, and nobody knew why he was banned. It was very mysterious. But just on a random day, back on the 21st of June, that this tweet came out and pretty much kickstart just a whirlwind of news, pretty much stating, reading off the tweet, he got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whisper product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon, the powers that could read in plain text. Case closed, gang.
So we don't necessarily know for a reasonable fact at this time that this was pointed at Dr. Disrespect. We don't know that at this time. This is just a very broad accusation. It's not naming someone directly. It's naming that it was whoever he is with trying to meet up with a female. We know this, so we know it's a male-female relationship at this point. But we don't necessarily know exactly who this Cody is referring to. Now, obviously, the internet is all an FBI agent, so I think things came together pretty quickly for people, because who else?
After.
Yeah, who else would they be talking about? A prominent figure in the streaming society who's been banned recently. Well, not even recently, had been banned. Who is that? Dr. Disrespect. Because, you got your main, you got Nick Merckx, you got Tim the Tatman, you got Ninja, all these kind of Twitch icons, and none of them had been banned. So who are you going to lead to? Probably Dr. Disrespect at this point. So we have this tweet that goes, and people just start losing their minds, and you can see at this point, I'm not sure where the tweet numbers are at now. They're probably much higher, but at this point, we only see like 145K views or impressions, 100 reposts, 129 quotes, 904 likes, 185 bookmarks. And now, when did you capture this screenshot?
I believe that was like the day of or the next day.
Okay, so
I seen this and took a picture of this. Yeah.
Okay, so it's got some traction, but nowhere near, I believe, what it has now. So another thing to note about this is there was additional tweets. I believe Keemstar put them out earlier in this last week about this same Cody Connors guy. You can see in his profile picture here, he's a guitar. It looks like he's a guitarist in a band. He apparently was also soliciting that he would basically whistleblow and drop allegations to, again, never mentioning Dr. Disrespect by name, but saying I'll release or I will say the what he did to get banned, basically. And we can find those tweets and we can put them in here as well. But there was, and I'm not exactly sure when that was, but I did see that there was, I believe I actually have it bookmarked on my Twitter, but he was soliciting. It's not the first time he's tried to whistleblow this. The first time didn't really blow up. So the first time did not really blow up. He was trying to promote his band, from what I saw, and it kind of flopped. So there wasn't really anything that came back from that, and obviously it didn't go anywhere because this time it blew up the entire internet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I'll try to find those tweets and we can link them. We put them in the video here while we're talking about it. Because it is very interesting that this is not the first time that this guy specifically has tried to whistleblow something like that exact situation, actually. And almost worded, I believe it was actually almost worded exactly the same as well, which is interesting. So, so we got Cody Connors here dropping this insane tweet that people finally went through and found out what he was talking about very quickly. And there was another I believe it's Slasher. I believe he was an ex-Twitch employee as well. And he said very, very quickly after this, I didn't lie. He tweeted out, I didn't lie. And so people just kind of took both of those as one tweet, made the assumptions, and that happened to be correct. They were correct. Assumptions about who it was, and they put those two together and they put it on Dr. Disrespect, and that's what blew this whole thing up. So I think we should go to the next piece of our evidence here.
Yeah, because right after this tweet popped up, a video resurfaced of I don't know all the guys' names in there, but one of them is a prominent name and is Destiny. This video popped up, and this was actually, I believe, months prior to this tweet even happening. I don't even know why this one didn't blow up, but if this is correct,
but over 2-decade-long career, surely mine would.
Well, Dan, it's been a long time.
Please tell us.
Yeah, it's been a long
time. It's so long that the
Okay.
person involved is probably okay now.
Yeah. My memory is really bad because this was like 2 years ago, and I was in Outpost buying a minicopter, and I remember someone saying Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch because he was messaging underage girls on Twitch.
Why he said that?
Wait, what?
That's not it.
We're about to learn all about the DMCA
What
process
the
now.
That's what I'm saying. What I heard in Rust.
Did he say that? Why did he say that?
He must have already.
Am I not allowed to say what I heard in Rust?
His
Dan, that's insane.
His crew
what
on
you just
Rust
said.
is
That's
a wild.
insane. If I'm the duck, I'm suing you right now.
I would actually sue you.
Well,
I
Very
Yeah, so that came up
interesting.
right after that tweet. This video just resurfaced of them saying what happened with Dr. Disrespect and why he got banned.
And I think it's important to note that maybe the reason this video did not get the traction that it did at the time is probably because it is a guy talking about, I was in a Rust lobby. If anyone doesn't know what Rust is, it's a video game. It's an open world video game. And I think maybe that has to do something with, because anyone who's watching this right now has played either open world or open, some kind of where you can communicate with other people through voice chat, in proximity chat. Anyone can say anything about anything. Now, it is strange that what he's saying does line up exactly with what the tweet itself said, but I think it is odd. I think maybe that is a reason why it did not receive the traction that it received, is because it's some guy making a very bold claim about what he heard in a Rust lobby from, he doesn't even say from who, just from some person
Just
that he,
from a guy.
exactly. So that doesn't hold much weight. So I think maybe that's why this didn't get the traction that it maybe deserved, and why it's resurfacing now, because people are using it as evidence, which is what we're doing as well.
That was extremely interesting, the timing of it, and they just so happened to find this clip, and that just added even more flames to like more gasoline to the fire, and just really started looking bad for Dr. Disrespect, because you know how the internet is. They're just gonna doesn't even matter if at the time anything was proven. It's just like, oh wow, Dr. Disrespect is doing this. So right after this, I guess it was getting to Dr. Disrespect, because he was gaming. I believe he was streaming on YouTube, playing Elden Ring, and I guess something came up to him and kind of shook him a little bit, changed his whole mood. So, play that video now.
You know how we run things here.
It's very interesting, because the way that he responds to whatever he just saw on his phone is the exact same way facial expression almost identical to when he received news that he was being banned on Twitch. So,
really?
Yes, if you watch the live video of him right before he ends his stream for however many months, break that he takes, after he was banned on Twitch in 2020. If you watch the clip, you can see him look down, read whatever he reads, and then boom, same facial expression. Just this very it's a mood shift of the somber, I can't lose my cool on stream right now. Now, we're kind of met at the end with silence here as he's, moving around. Now, I don't know what happens after this clip. I didn't watch this stream. But we don't know if there's, if he kind of shakes it off and goes back to normal. But when he was banned on Twitch, if you watch the clip, he continues to play for a little bit. He kind of has that shift of silence, and then you can see him kind of start to lose his cool. And then he ends the stream. and we don't hear anything for months.
Just ends it abruptly.
Ends it abruptly. He says something along the lines of, Champions Club, we're going to be okay, you know. Or it might have been Slick Daddy Club at the time, I'm not really sure. But he says something along the lines of, we're going to be okay, we're going to get through this. And then ends the stream, and we don't hear anything for months. So it's the same kind of reaction of just, he has a very telltale, you can feel it through the screen. And, you know, that's probably why he's such a fantastic, you know, he's a great actor. I mean, no one can deny that. You know, if you can take whatever situation we're in with him currently and separate the fact that this guy is a talented actor, I mean, you can't deny that. But it's the same kind of mood shift that we see when he received his Twitch ban notice right before he ended his stream. So it's a very telling thing. He's got a very interesting characteristic in how he is able to shift his mood to, he's trying to hide it, you know, he doesn't want to let the stream know anything's wrong, but yet there's every telltale sign right there, just in his face, just the mood shift, the silence, it speaks so loud. Yes, so then go ahead with what the next bit is here.
All right, so getting into actually the next two pieces of things. So one of them came through, actually should have played this before the video, of a unconfirmed email regarding to the situation, probably responding to the allegations that was coming out. Might be a little bit hard to read, but giving my best. So this is coming from an unconfirmed source saying, I'm sending this to multiple known sources in the gaming news arena. I hope this is taken in the spirit in which it is intended. I will keep this inbox open for 12 hours from now, then it will be gone forever. Here's actually what happened, but cannot be said publicly by Dr. Disrespect, because during this time, Dr. Disrespect was getting lambasted with the accusations. People were wondering why isn't Dr. Disrespect talking? We were speculating it might be due to an NDA that he had with Twitch regarding the situation, so he can't say anything. So this unconfirmed email came out and was kind of explaining what happened. So take it with a grain of salt because, again, it is unconfirmed. So there were whispers between a guy, who is Dr. Disrespect's real name, and a 17-year-old on Twitch. The age was not known at this time. These were messages in relations to how to scale new channels using tried and tested methods. Behind the scenes, this was a service that was offered by members of Dr. Disrespect team under a different brand name. The brand name used could be interpreted in many ways. The transcripts were part of court proceedings and, as outlined, show no wrongdoing, illegality. I suck when it comes to pronouncing words.
That's okay.
The issue, I was going on for a little bit longer because I'll probably just leave this up for pause for people to read because it is a lot to go through. The issue on Twitch side was how some of the messages and brand name used could be interpreted differently by certain members of the Twitch team. Had they taken a dislike to Dr. Disrespect due to the bathroom incident? What would be the bathroom incident?
So if you don't know about the bathroom incident, it was in TwitchCon 20. It was sometime between the ban and the initial, him cheating on his wife. There was basically, he was live streaming at TwitchCon. I believe it was TwitchCon, and he went into a public restroom and was live streaming at a public restroom. Now, there was nothing shown. There's no one in there, but it was a violation of Twitch's policy, and so he received a temporary ban because of that.
Gotcha. Okay. The internal feeling was that it would only be a matter of time before they got him on something. This one, however, was way wide of the mark. and wasn't what they what they thought it was. So yeah, it pretty much just goes on again. You can pause to read. It goes on just to pretty much say that the Twitch and them were kind of like targeting Dr. Disrespect. That's what this whole situation was going on. Now again, this is at the time that this tweet came out. This is before any other information that we're going to go over in a bit came out. That's what it was pretty much summarizing, that Twitch had it out. Well, some Twitch ex-employees had it out for Dr. Disrespect. And then shortly after this, Midnight Society, which is the game studio that Dr. Disrespect used to work for, used to be like a co-founder, was a co-founder on, used to be like a co-head, studio head, would he be? Yeah, Midnight Society put out this tweet. On Friday evening, we became aware of the allegations against one of our co-founders, Guy. How do you pronounce his last name?
Beam.
Beam?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, the H is silent. I thought so. AKA Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved, and in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept more difficult to hear and more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed, along with our community of players. So yeah, this came out. This was pretty much like pretty damning at the point when it came to Dr. Disrespect's side, because this is his game studio talking about, we're going to have to let him go. And a line that I've seen a lot of people refer back to when they're in this situation was the line, we assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. Saying something like that, we assumed his innocence, meaning that y'all thought he was innocent going into it, then y'all seen something that changed y'all perspective, and they went ahead with letting him go. Now, usually, with a lot of allegations that's come out with certain people, like a Johnny Depp with Disney, with the whole Amber Heard thing, where we see that even like the Jonathan Majors thing that happened not too long ago, we see some people act really, really hastily with certain things like this, and they drop people before anything's coming out. Anything has been confirmed. But something like this is just like, it's, even though it's still in that same vein, that line of we assumed his innocence is like ooh, that doesn't sound too good.
Mm-hmm.
So after this tweet came out, because to go back to that live stream, let me bring this down. To go back to that live stream Dr. Disrespect had, I guess this is towards the end of the stream, pretty much saying he was going to go on a hiatus. Me and Shay pretty much speculate that this is what he probably received and caused his mood change.
I think more importantly, we need to, when I say step away, I'm going to have to relay this to the Midnight Society, but maybe I step away from there too. Just completely remove myself from the scene. It's what I need to do. Right? Take all the time you need, says Layer Cake. I appreciate that. Give me back my dog! Don't be a pussy. God damn it. I'm telling you, it's fatigue. It's tired. It's wanting to just kind of move away from the limelight. Ultimately, that's what it's about. You know what I mean, champs? Damn, now what? Shit, there's 50 million other streamers you can watch right now. It's getting old, yo. What's getting old? Get the break. Respect it, Doc. Okay, I appreciate that. It's getting old, you're not alone. That's not very nice. You don't like me? It's time to drive into the sunset, says Swervin. Oof, man, I like your style. It might be time to drive in the sunset, champs. I appreciate all of you. Appreciate all the commitments, the recommitments. Please, do me a favor. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you soon. Yeah.
It's a pretty hard thing to watch for me as a fan, like, because I remember when he first got the ban, watching his stream and him ending it abruptly and just going, what the heck? And then him just being gone, like literally radio silent for months and months and months. And then how exciting it was for him to just randomly come back on YouTube. And, you know, as a fan of his work, it's a hard, I mean, like watching that video, I watched that on Twitter when it first dropped, and I was like, you know, in the moment I was like, man, like, cause nothing had been confirmed yet, anything. I'm like, the mob is just getting to him. I mean, like, it would get to me, you know, if I was like, so for me, I was still giving him the benefit of the doubt, you know, at this point. And I was like, man, like, I would want to disappear too. You know, those are serious accusations people are calling me. It's not something to be taken lightly. And it's not like, you know, when he cheated on his wife, he made that public himself. And that was something that I know that was very hard to do, probably. And just to kind of, you know, see him disappear again, I was like, oh no, like, he's my favorite streamer. So it was a hard thing to watch as a fan, from a fan reaction, you know, just because I do appreciate, you know, my dad. I was talking to my dad about it, actually. I was telling him, like, dang, it sucks to, like, you know, if this is true, like, you know, he's my hero, he's let me down, you know. My dad said, you know, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. If anybody knows anything about me, I'm a huge MJ fan. And he said, you know, he's like, you're smart enough to be able to recognize the talent, separate the talent from the accusations. You know, Michael Jackson, if anyone knows about him, like, he had 10 years of accusations of the same situation that we're in right now, like accusations of, you know, minor inappropriate activities. But that doesn't mean that we have to necessarily not separate the talent, not be able to recognize the talent. Everyone knows that Michael Jackson was probably the most talented musician to ever exist so far. And yet whatever happened in his personal life, it's important. I think it's important to recognize talent where talent is due. You know, like where recognition is due. And you know, Dr. Disrespect is a very talented man when it comes to entertainment. No one can deny that. So I think it's important to, like, recognize those two, but I digress. You know, just random tangent.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and,
let's
Yeah, so yeah, that stuff was like pretty jarring, and like you just get that just a bad feeling regarding all this stuff that's going on. I know something I said to you regarding that, like, after I watched that video, it's just like, that's one of those things people say before they just like themselves. And I'm just like, hopefully that's not the case, and he just gets through it. Hopefully all these allegations get disproven, and even after it gets disproven, it's still a bumpy road that he's gonna have to go on after that. But you know, we're just gonna have to wait for more information to come out. Dr. Disrespect, enjoy your vacation, and just hopefully this all blows over. So that's what it was at the time. And then somebody else who also kind of felt the same way, Nick Mertz, who we all know is streaming wise was close to Dr. Disrespect. He's done a lot of gaming together and streaming together. So he had a video that came out like during all the allegations that were occurring, and dropped his 2 cents on it. Just bring that up real quick.
Yo, checking in. Look, I opened Twitter. Bunch of my mentions are he, they, she, hey, they. Fucking, I identify as a helicopter. God damn it. And I seen the couple tweets about the doc. I'm as taken back as a lot of you guys are, okay? But the fact remains that these are some crazy accusations. Crazy. Big time accusations. And until we know more, until we know them as fact, until they've been proven with evidence, what are we talking about? What's anybody talking about? As far as the leave the little kids alone stuff, this doesn't make it any further from the truth. Leave little children out of your shit. Have a nice day.
Yeah. That, I think Nick got just mobbed for having that reaction. Which I think unrightfully so. He should not have gotten mobbed the way he did because, he was waiting for evidence. He wanted to do due diligence to the fact that, innocent before proven guilty. Mm-hmm.
Which most sensible people do.
Yep. And so I don't think he's in the wrong for dropping that video. He's because, the thing is, he is also a he's one of the biggest streamers in our day and age right now. One of the biggest variety streamers, and he is stating his opinion because it is an opinion. Unfortunately, nowadays it's not fact anymore. It's opinion. That we need more evidence. We need to hear it from the mouth of the person accused, or we need to see the evidence. And I don't think that he's wrong for that, because if anything ever happened to him, he would want the exact same thing done for him. So I don't think he's in the wrong saying, we need more evidence. Like, it's a big time accusations, because at this time, that's what they were, accusations. There was no burden of proof at this point. For anybody, no one had proof. The burden of proof purely rested on Doc making a statement or Twitch releasing the whispers. Like, honestly, those were the two options. And Nick said, we don't got any of those. So right now, this is accusations. Any left, right, person can make up anything at this point. So he's very smart for having a stance like that, I think, in my opinion. So I think that, and because, like I said, you should always, whatever you would want to be done for you, you should have that opinion with anyone that you come across. So
yeah, absolutely agree. That's what I was like, just flabbergasted with how much of a negative response that he got for that video. I've seen people say, "Oh, you're just defending a predator." It's just like, I don't understand how you get to that conclusion. But it's like what we said at the top of the video. People lack critical thinking skills. It's just because what you're saying doesn't line up with what I want you to say, I'm just going to say this about you. And of course, when it comes to Nick Merckx, he has what is considered controversial opinions regarding to the LGBTQ. We don't need to go into that, but he has his controversial things. So, the people that align with that is more on that side is going to attack him nonetheless, because they're just looking for a reason to attack him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, it was really just like, wow, why would y'all have this opinion? Because if it was one of you or one of you guys' family member or friends, you would want people to have that same thing. You would want it to like, hey, let's wait until the evidence come out. You might want people to just automatically label either you or your friends as what they're being accused of. You just like, oh, let's wait until everything comes out. So that's where that's the main thing that I took a problem with is just how they just were just like attacking him for that, which was just mind-boggling to me. So another thing also that you can go into is the one of the reactions that we've seen on Twitter also leading into this by Viz. Pretty much regarding to this situation. I'm not familiar with this. Could you
yeah, so TSM Vis, or Vis to his fans, is another popular streamer who streamed alongside Dr. Disrespect. Basically, if you watch Dr. Disrespect these days, you know that he streams with Z-Laner a lot. He was the Z-Laner of Twitch days. So he was the guy with so TSM Vis is very much into Apex. When Apex was at its height, at its climb, Vis was there playing trios ranked with Dr. Disrespect. They played Warzone together. They had a lot of games. He was the Z-Laner of Dr. Disrespect's Twitch days. So he is just very close to the doc in the fact of they have many years of game playing together. I don't know I don't know anything about personal life, as in, like, I don't know if they hang out together in personal company together as friends. I just know the online side of the situation.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, he pretty much put out a tweet saying, "I will never be ashamed of holding the belief of innocent until proven guilty. It is how anyone would want to be treated by their peers, just like we were saying ourselves. I'm not in the race of I was right or to destroy someone's life without adequate evidence, what most people seem to be doing, that especially on Twitter and social media. They just go quick to try to just destroy someone. I want the truth of the situation. Doc made a statement. We've got more of a picture now. I still have a couple questions about this whole scenario, which I'm sure we're going to learn in time." Which I think at that time, Doc might have put out something just a small bit before he actually made his statement. But that was an interesting piece by Vis, who you said is also close to Dr. Disrespect. And then also goes right into this video from Ninja talking about it quickly. Just go into it because it's a little bit of a longer video, so we can just go into it a little bit.
I just want to touch on some things lately, guys. Obviously, there's been a lot of drama that's been going on, not involving me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And I just got two things to say, and then we're just going to move on and keep playing Fortnite. All right, number one, anything involving a minor at all, no matter what it is not okay. It's messed up, and it's illegal, and it's pretty simple. So, especially if you, all right, I'm not going to get too much into detail about that, but come on, it's a no-brainer, right? That's number one. And number two, with the whole Doc situation and just what's been released these last 2 days, here's what I'll point out for now, and that is, if you guys don't know, Midnight Society, which is the game that Doc helped build, right, and create, and he was a part of the company, did their own investigative research behind the scenes, right? And found enough evidence to let him go from the company, right? Not administrative leave, not we'll address this later. Let him go after doing their own research, right? And after doing their own internal investigation behind the scenes. So if that's not enough, right, evidence or enough to, they found something, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now let's, I've seen a bunch of clips out there. I've seen a bunch of stuff from XQC, who said apparently there's more stuff coming out. So until then, it's only been 2 days into the situation. So let's just wait until we see more. But that's all I have to say. Yeah. Saying I didn't do anything illegal or there was no wrongdoing. I mean, a lawsuit at the end of the day, not a lawsuit, but a settlement, right? Because there's talks about a settlement. A settlement, no matter what it looks like publicly, it usually means someone did something, right? Or there was some truth to enough truth, right? You settle to cover things up. You settle to not let things get out there. All right. So just do your own research, look stuff up, and let's just keep on waiting for some more stuff. More evidence. Moving on in the future, but
which that reminded me of the small statement that Dr. Disrespect said. Just put out. I think he was referring to the civil suit, saying that nothing illegal happened and there was no wrongdoing. That was the first thing that he put out, which that also even got backlash with people saying, "What does that mean of no wrongdoing? What does it mean of he didn't do anything illegal," right, and stuff like that. So people were kind of confused regarding that and had a little pushback regarding to that as well.
Right, because I remember, now I'm thinking back, I'm I remember he replied under one of those new, Dextro or something like that, one of those news sources, if you can call them that. Those news sources that said something about, and he was like, "Let's cut the crap. I was paid. You know, like, so I now, like, a lot of these responses, like the Vis one, everything, are responding to that tweet, the initial kind of Dr. Disrespect tweeting at the article.
Dr. Disrespect finally made his statement, giving the whole breakdown of the situation. So go into his tweets. Now this is had to be broken up into 5 parts. Is how long the tweet was. Again, you could definitely pause the read. But so this is the start of his Twitch, talking about the Twitch ban. So going in, saying, hello, I'd like to make a statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about. And I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at the Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people would have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I, and we've made a painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredible, talented, and good people that have high careers, ambitions, and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture that we've have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I've been banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, probably NDA, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, that would be the Cody Connors, and I guess the Destiny Clip one maybe, or it might be somebody else.
Slasher, I believe.
Slasher, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can now tell my side of the story regarding the ban. We were there. Now this is where it really gets into the meat and potatoes of this whole situation, and really him delving into what happened. Were there Twitch whispers messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much into the direction of being inappropriate. But nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I've never met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a statement. All right. Stop right there and just kind of like break down what's been said thus far. So started off giving a real like soft piece as to what happened, leading into it, saying, hey, apologize to my community if everything is going on. I know this is kind of stressful and all that. Kind of like just baby stepping into the whole thing. And then when it gets into the start of it, the real start of it, were there Twitch whispered messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. And that part was what really set Twitter ablaze. About like that first, 2 sentences really. That first part though, him confirming that it was indeed a minor that he was messaging back in 2017. What are your thoughts thus far regarding this tweet? What happened?
So I think one more thing needs to be mentioned is that there were 3 edits in this as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where he started with were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual back in 2017. I believe it was minor first, and then minor was edited out to just individual, and then this was the final post. Individual minor.
That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah, so that was very odd and did not look good for Dr. Disrespect when he started
at all
editing stuff, because when we're editing things, if you've ever edited something, it shows you what the original message said, which is why we were able to conclude that he was editing them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very good look. When things like this happen, you want to be concrete in what you say, and you want to not be, and that's like, that would be the equivalent of backtracking in real life. If you say something and someone says, but I thought you said this, and you say, oh, well, I did mean this, but this is actually what I meant. Like, that's the equivalent of that. It's very, it makes you seem distrustful. It makes you seem like you're trying to hide something, and that's just not a good look. Even, no matter how innocent it might be, it plants a seed of distrust in the people who are reading it.
Yeah.
So that's a very important note to note there. As for the actual message going through it, the answer is yes. Honestly, he could have just left it at that. The answer is yes. I think he could have. But as you know, were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. Okay, you can say that, but I mean,
Is
why?
anybody gonna believe it?
Yeah, but like, why were you even messaging someone who's not your wife in the first place? You know, so I mean, everything from after the word yes, and this is, and I just want to reiterate, like, this is hard for me to say. I've been a fan for 9 years now. Like, this is not something that I came to terms with as like, oh, it was an easy, like, I wrestled with this for days, like going, there's no way. I mean, I can equivalent this probably to how people who were diehard Michael Jackson fans, how they reacted when there was a sting operation about, you know, everything that happened with Michael Jackson, you know. So like, it's a hard thing. It's hard for fans to really choke down this pill, basically. You know, there are mutual conversations that lean sometimes too much in the direction of being inappropriate. What does that mean? Does that mean, oh, he told her that she looked beautiful? You know, why are you complimenting another woman? And, you know, let's just take out the fact that it's a minor. Why are you complimenting another woman in the first place? Whether that was more in the fact of, I want to, you know, do things with you. You know, I don't want to go into grotesque detail. I don't think that needs to be done here. But, you know, you guys know what we're talking about. Was it something as I don't want to say innocent, but as simple as, oh, you look your profile picture is very beautiful. You know, is that what you really look like? You know, it could have been something like that. Is that the definition of inappropriate? For a married man with a child, yes, that is the definition of inappropriate. Or was it something more grotesque? We don't know. We you know, it's his word against Twitch's word against the public's word at this point, because we don't have the original transcripts of what was said. So, you know, direction of being inappropriate can, you know, none of it should have happened in the first place, but we don't know what level of inappropriacy, you know, inappropriateness is being portrayed here. And nothing more, nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. You know, I never went through, you know, all this is just to water down the fact that he talked to a minor individual. It's trying to kind of pull, what he's trying to do is pull, the answer is yes. He's trying to pull the audience away from the answer is yes, basically, by saying all of this. So maybe let's go on to the next slide and see where he, you know, resolved by a settlement.
It was not a criminal case against me. No criminal charges have been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect. I'll fucking own my shit. This is stupid. Now, with all this being said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around me so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm not no fucking predator or a pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me fucking knows where I stand on these things, on those things, and those type of people. Fuck that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision back in 2020. To my team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all I could have said all this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support through all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the fucking best community and circle. If any of this made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you have always been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement but think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made the mistake all those years ago, referring to him cheating on his wife, correct?
I'm sure that this maybe has, I think this is maybe more than just cheating on his wife. I think this is maybe what he's saying is, I'm not that guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I think he's talking about this in general.
This one as well.
But I think maybe we're just talking about that whole year, because there was a lot of things that went on that whole year that we're finding out. So I think he's just trying to make the distinction that he's not the same guy he was, and he's changed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. So, regarding this whole situation, now when I first read this, like going back to the first part where this really kicked off with the Twitch whisper messages saying yes, that automatically is just like a damn. That's not good. No matter, it really is very few contexts that you can give that will be like, okay, that makes sense. If it's like advice on streaming, cool. If it's a minor that wants to know how to start, cool, you got it. Anything that revolves around business of being better, that's positive, cool, you got it. To be speaking to a minor, but it's very, very small. But him saying that and then following up with these were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. That's where it's just like a even more so like that just does not sound good, because even with you saying that, majority of people's not going to believe it. Once you hear and that, not even just hear that part, it just follows the next part that follows up kind of in a sense contradicts the second part.
Yeah.
Which you saying these were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of inappropriate. Like, what exactly does that mean? That's what was going on through my head. What was happening was like, what exactly is inappropriate when you're speaking to a minor? Anything that is inappropriate speaking with a minor is always bad.
Yeah.
You're talking about something, doing something illegal, or it's talking about something sexual, which is just either or is bad. In this situation, we all know that our thoughts is going to go, you're talking sexual manners with a minor. So that's what was going on through my head with that one, and then just going on with everything that followed afterwards. It was just, I won't just call it fluff, but it was pretty much just a fluff to just kind of like give it like a soft landing after every like that big piece that you just heard, and just it's just all in all, it just was not a good look.
The only thing that I think in that whole segment that didn't get enough attention is the part where he says, I'm not that same guy. I think that because I think that is important to note, because obviously we have people in this world who just apologize because they're scared they're going to lose their income, they're scared they're going to lose the, they're not actually sorry. We've seen that night and day all the time on Twitter. We see people who do something stupid, apologize because they got caught, and then do it again. So we see that all the time. But you know what, the thing that sticks out to me the most is this all happened in a very tight time frame. You know, the cheating on his wife happened the same year that this apparently happened, in 2017. All this happened, you know, could he have been a bad guy at one point? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. Does he deserve to have action taken against him for the things he did wrong? Yes. But at the same time, you know, when someone goes to jail, you know, and in this situation, we could have, like, at this point, Twitter could be his jail. You know, they could ruin his career overnight. You know, everyone stops watching him, career gone, poof, gone, poof, gone. Like, literally, poof. And, you know, that could be his jail. And when someone gets out of jail, do we bring up what they did and go, oh, well, you're a bad person, you're never going to get it right? Some people genuinely do change. And I'm speaking from personal experience, as in, like, I've done terrible things in my life, you know, maybe not anywhere to the scale of this, but, like, I've done things that have affected other people, you know, and I've asked for forgiveness from those people, from God, everything like that, and I changed my life. I changed the actions. Could Dr. Disrespect have made some questionable decisions in his life? And then he's trying to tell, and it's being watered down by the accusations that have been brought up. Is he trying to tell people, I was that guy, yes, but I'm not him anymore. I've changed. Because I think what also people are forgetting is his wife is still with him. If she had the power to forgive him, what is some random guy or gal on the internet? What are them to Dr. Disrespect? Why do they get to judge? You know, his own wife forgave him for everything he did to their family, and it seems like everything has been pretty good. Obviously, from an outside perspective, it seems like it's been pretty good for the most part. So I think that's a lot of that is being watered down by just the initial question being answered, and not a lot of people are thinking it through, like, this guy may have changed. Like, he may not be that person anymore, because let's face it, we're all capable of change. I think that it's very unfortunate that he's in the position he's in to be ridiculed, you know, with the audience he has and the hate that he has. Like, people hate him, you know. I think that is something that's very not helping his case. Because, you know, everyone on Twitter wants to pretend that they're perfect. You know, they want to cast the first stone, you know, because Dr. Disrespect's life is on full public display, and they know their life will never be on public display because they're of no relevance, you know. So it's just it's just kind of, it is. I do take some, you know, like, I do feel for the man, because it would suck. It would suck to, like, have, if you're truly a changed man, it would suck to have someone bring up your past and flaunt it in your face, and you can say all you want, you know, like, oh, I've changed, and the public opinion is like, no, like, you're still that guy, even though he knows, I'm not that, I would never do that anymore. I'm not that guy anymore. So I think that that's something that does need to be brought up, that it is possible for someone to change and to have rejected their past, and have no claim to it anymore. I'm not that person anymore. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, because I don't think enough people are thinking that at all, and they're just kind of being drowned out by the first question and statement. So
Yeah, that is definitely a good point because he definitely could have changed from back around that time.
I mean, it was 7 years. I mean,
7 years
that's
ago.
a
It is
long.
definitely 7 years.
That's a long time. 7 years is a
Mhm.
long freaking time.
And I would just say what would be if it would be good for his case if that was just a one-time thing. If he only did that like one time and that was the only time that he did, just not he hasn't continued on or
Or like that was the only year he he had a bad year kind of thing,
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything's kind of in that 2017 era, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so it would still be like bad, and unfortunately, people are just going to hold this over his head forever. But it would be better for him if that was just like the one time that this has happened. So he would have just a little bit of grace with that. Not much, unfortunately, but he would have some grace with that. But yeah, after that came out, then you had a response from Robert Bowling, who is the studio head of Midnight Society, responding right after the Dr. Disrespect tweets came out. He was saying, "This is a statement for me personally. It does not reflect any of my companies. Doesn't reflect any of my companies. It has not gone through any legal or PR approval. If you appropriately message a minor, I cannot work with you, period. I promised to only act on facts, and I did." So this came out shortly after all those tweets from Dr. Disrespect, kind of pretty much responding to everything that's been going on and kind of solidifying that's pretty much what they knew beforehand, and that's why they were dropping them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like man, this is it was just like a freaking tailspin, and then we can just go into like some of the reactions that other streamers were having, and Nick Mertz, who like he was saying, waiting for all the evidence to come out, and this is the response that he got.
Yo, checking in. I'm seeing everything on Twitter, and I read through Doc's tweet, and in that very tweet, he basically confirms that, he was texting an underage girl, and it went weird sometimes, and look, just to be blunt and straightforward, man, that's inexcusable. It's unacceptable, right? There's no excuse for something like that, and I can't support it. Hang on, honey. Doing this, talking to Twitter. I can't support it. I can't defend it. And look, the boys and I are torn up over it too, man, because we played a lot of games with the guy, and it feels a little weird, but what can you do, So I just wanted to update you guys on my thoughts and how I'm feeling. And look, I hope you guys have a good day, all right?
That was Nick Mertz. Then we have something from Tim the Tap Man.
Wow, this is absolutely insane, bro. Everything I'm seeing. I have known Doc for a while now. We've played games for years, and seeing everything that is spiraling right now is a very difficult thing for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of y'all out there. I think for me, I know a lot of you are asking, Tim, what are you feeling? Tim, what are you feeling? My bottom line, I think, is if what he is saying, where he said that he was messaging a minor and it would sometimes lead to teeter on inappropriate, if he knew that was a minor and those were the messages being sent, I cannot support that. I can't. I appreciate y'all. This is beating me up, but this is unfortunate to say the least. This is awful. So Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love you give, and I'll see y'all soon, man.
So yeah, those are two of the biggest streamers I've gained with Dr. Disrespect, and just seeing their videos come out is just like oh man, that sucks. And at the time, Tim brought up a really, really good point, which is a thought that I had as well, of if he knew that the person was a minor. Now, I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter, which in the grand scheme, yes, because he is married, so he shouldn't be like talking however he was talking to this person outside of his marriage. But that is still a very, very good question at the time. It's just like, okay, did you know this person was a minor? Because that changes a lot of things. Because if the person was pretending to be older and is being online, you can't really confirm or verify. So that was very, very important. But even still, he still would have been wrong in that situation, being that he's married, talking to somebody else, however he was talking to him.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but I think this really hits a lot harder for Tim than Nick, because Tim was I don't know exactly the title of his job before he started streaming, but he was in like a social worker
Ooh,
with children.
Okay.
So I think that
so he's probably really familiar with cases like these.
yeah, so I think that this maybe hits a little harder for him because he does have experience dealing with people like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure
Okay.
there's a lot of feeling of, I used to take children away from people like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I thought it was just an interesting little nugget that I found out recently.
Yeah, I did not know that. So that even gives another layer to this whole situation. And then also had a video from Zlander, right? The person that was his right hand man most recently.
Hey everyone, just making this video due to the fact that a lot of people are obviously wondering what my thoughts are on the doc situation. People speculating what my silence over the last few days means. I want to start by saying the silence has been nothing more than probably what it's been for a lot of people over the last few days. It's been pretty devastating, devastating news. Just hard to come to grips with. For Doc, I hope this is a dark part of his past. I hope he learns from the situation, and it never happens again. A full-grown man messaging a minor is unacceptable, and I can't stand by that. So that's it.
Yeah, with that one, you can hear the pain in his voice. Like, he is distraught.
Something that I had seen, which is very true, is that Zlander says he owes his success to Dr. Disrespect. Because he got his exposure by playing with, like, Doc picked him up randomly one day. And he I mean, there's multiple clips probably on the internet of Zlander thanking Doc for helping him, you know, become the successful, you know, streamer that he is today. So I think that for him to turn around and have to say the things that he's having to say or feeling like he has to say are just very, I mean, I feel like he feels like he's betraying the Doc a little bit, you know? So I think that's where the pain comes from. Now, another thing I wanted to point out that kind of just as a reoccurring theme between Nick and Tim and ZLaner is that they all kind of have the same, you know, they say the same thing. Yeah, we play games together for a long time. You know, they are acting as if they don't know. Now, it could be acting, it could be real. I'm not saying that they're acting, but they're acting as if, like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know about this. I believe that they genuinely did not know that about any of this. I don't think that they were hiding it. I don't think any of that kind of stuff, because the consistency of all the different point of views leads me to that conclusion. I don't think ZLaner, Tim, and Nick Merckx got in a call together and said, "Hey, we're all gonna act oblivious." I don't think that happened. And then also the fact that they all say this leads me to the conclusion that they just know Dr. Disrespect. They don't know Guy Beam. You know, they know the man in the wig, who is a phenomenal online streamer who plays games with them, and they don't know Guy Beam. Because to be honest, like, I look at Tim the Tatman, him and Ninja are like besties. They rent yachts together, they go on vacations together. I can imagine that they probably know each other's deepest, darkest secrets. I don't look at Tim, Nick, and ZLaner, and I don't see the same kind of personal relationship. So the fact that that they're, you know, feeling that they need to distance themselves, I don't think that that's a personal shot to Doc. I just think that they know him as an online persona, that they have created content together in the past, and that's as far as it goes. I don't think that there's a genuine friendship between any of them. ZLaner, I think, is a little bit more on the fence about it because of his relationship with Doc was purely organic, I think, in the fact of, like, he helped him get his rise to success where he is now. So I think that's where you hear the pain in his voice, you know? But I don't think that they genuinely knew why he was banned. I honestly don't think that, because the consistencies between the consistencies between Nick, Tim, and ZLaner's stories is that I didn't know about this and I can't support this guy anymore. Now, where I think that also the other conclusion I come to with that is, if they genuinely were tight friends with this guy, they would say what I was talking about in the original Doc tweets. They wouldn't denounce him. They would say, this guy is a changed man. He is, I know him personally. I know that he is a good guy now. He had a dark past, but the guy that I know now is the guy that you all have thought you've known forever, you know? So I don't think that there's, I think the internal consistencies between ZLaner, Tim, and Nick Merck's videos show that they genuinely just knew this guy as an online persona. They didn't know him personally. So I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. That would make a lot of sense as well. So it's not something that they'll be too intapped with, being that they only know Dr. Disrespect. They don't know Guy Beam.
Exactly.
That's a good point. So I guess we can bring up... Do you want to bring up the other reactions or the other Nick Merckx video first?
Let's bring up the Nick Merckx video just because I was already talking about that. I kind of forgot about that video.
All right, yeah, this is the last Nick Merckx video regarding to the situation. I guess he was streaming, and obviously somebody's going to bring it up, so he was responding to something that was probably said in his chat.
We still don't know if he knew she was underage. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. He admitted that in his tweet. Yeah, people are still trying to defend what he did. I mean, even he tried to defend what he did in a really odd way in that tweet. Like, he said that he knew that she was underage, and he would still text her. And the text, I can't remember how he put it in his tweet, but what did it say? That the texts would sometimes go a certain way? Yeah, he edited the tweet 3 times. Just so bad. It's so bad, you guys. It's so bad. And look, what do you want from me, man? You know, I gave the guy the benefit of the doubt until we knew more. But look, it's unacceptable when you have just in any world that is unacceptable. You got to be smarter. You got to be better. You can't do shit like that. It's not only is it against the law, but where the fuck is your head and your heart at to do things like that? You know, what are we doing? Why are we doing stuff like that? So to act like I don't care or act like I'm not upset about the shit he did is crazy. You just have to remember that he was a friend of mine. So obviously I'm going to behave a little bit differently. I got some weird fucking, attachments to this. I do. He was a friend. People think that we're like best friends, like we're hanging out. I don't even know the guy outside of a wig. We took one picture together, and newsflash, he was in a wig, and we talked for 8 minutes. Now I don't want to dumb down a relationship.
Yeah, see, like you just listen to him talk, and that's not the way you talk about your boy who you're on a personal level with.
Mhm.
If I were to talk about, my best friend who someone drug up her, like say something she did in her past that was unforgivable in the public opinion, I would defend her that she's not the same girl that she was. She made mistakes, but I've forgiven her for what she's done and that how it affected our relationship, and we take it one day at a time now. That's how you talk about your someone you're very close with. I don't think Nick Merckx is. I think, like he said, I don't know the guy outside of a wig. I think he's friends with Dr. Disrespect. I don't think he's friends with Guy Beam.
Right. Yeah, you could definitely get that from his response, where it's kind of like he's tied to this because of commercially how he's
Their past,
his relationship, their
Yeah.
past, and what they've done as far as streaming wise. But like personally, he's not as tied as you would think, as most people would probably think.
Right.
Like he said, you guys think we're best friends. It's just like it's one of those. It was more so a business relationship than a personal relationship.
Right. They collabed
So,
together. They made
yeah.
content together. Like there's nothing, and it doesn't go past that, which I think is
Yeah.
very. If you watch all the videos, him, the first one, the second one, and the third one with Nick, they all have the same internal consistencies to come to that conclusion.
Yeah. All right. And, so after all this came out, of course, there was some reactions to the whole situation. We grabbed some because there was a lot. We didn't want to just like bombard it with a whole bunch of reactions. So going back to Vise, guess he might have gotten a little bit of backlash regarding to the first initial tweet that he put out. But he said, to clarify, I believe what he did was severe and wrong, and it increases in severity if he knew the age of the person at the time. Overall, just feel terrible. Heart really goes out to the community members affected by this and to at 12 a.m., which is Midnight Society. So yeah, that's another thing. It's just like what you're saying. The severity of the situation definitely increases if you knew the age of the person, but like how Nick Merck was saying, he was saying it confidently that Dr. Disrespect knew the age of the person and still continued. Even though it didn't necessarily say that in the tweet, but it was confirmed, yes, it was a minor, but you could probably find out it was a minor afterwards. But
I think he was more referencing, I think he could have worded that more correctly, saying we knew she was underage, not we knew how old she was, because we don't know how old she is.
Yeah.
There's nothing that has confirmed her age. I think he was just talking more on the fact that she was under 18.
Yeah. All right. And then Moist Critical saying, "Holy shit, that's actually shocking. Confirming messaging a minor inappropriately, but saying there wasn't any real intent is almost verbatim what people used to say to Chris Hansen," which that's a good point, because it's just like I was saying, like you say that you were messaging inappropriately, but then follow up was like is damn near a contradiction to what you're saying prior. That there's no real intent, but the messages were like leaning towards inappropriate. Like, what does that exactly mean?
Right.
And then another reaction, Mighty Keith. He's I don't know if I would he's probably a popular YouTuber. He makes a lot of funny game content. So yeah, Dr. Disrespect confirmed he was texting a minor in 2017 that leaned inappropriately but had not done anything illegal. As a 38-year-old man, there should be no conversation with a minor that should ever get to that point. Very disappointed in, which again I agree as well. It's just like, yeah, as a 30-plus-year-old man, just to speak to a minor and any conversation leaning inappropriate is wrong. And then Nadia, she was going off a lot regarding this situation. I don't have the other tweets that she was having, but she was pretty much just throwing bombs towards Dr. Disrespect during this whole situation, and she apparently was getting flack, but says, I don't understand how this is even controversial. His own company said, we assumed his innocence, spoke with parties involved. These facts are difficult to hear. Why are so many people defending a pedo? So I think this is during right before the tweets came out from Dr. Disrespect, but I know she was going off on Dr. Disrespect during this entire situation.
It's kind of funny the irony that she's in a literal bikini.
Yeah, it's hilarious the picture that they used for
yeah, like that's just so odd. But anyway, I digress.
So it's all this going on, really, really bad stuff.
Yeah. The everything that we've seen so far is, a guy, not to that's like a pun, but Guy Beam, Dr. Disrespect made some mistakes. I mean, if we can simplify it down to Dr. Disrespect, he made some questionable decisions in his past. He may or may not, be a different man, now. Is he not? We probably won't know. At this point, it's all you form your own opinion. Do you have it in your heart to forgive somebody who did something wrong in the past and give them the benefit of the doubt to that they have changed? Just like he stated, I'm a changed man. Do you have it in your heart to forgive them? And, are you a perfect person? You've never done anything wrong? I'm not saying that you've done anything quite that wrong, but are you a perfect person that you haven't done anything wrong to be able to judge? I don't know. But, you have to make your own decision. You have to make your own decision to go, can I continue to watch this person's stream knowing he's a changed man, or am I not able to, forgive someone for what they've done in their past and, continue to support them as a new changed person, So, I don't know. It's just something to wrestle with in your own consciousness of, what are you going to do on your personal stance, Because to be honest, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I really don't. I genuinely don't, because I've seen a lot of redemption over the years for people who have done crazy, horrible things in the past, and yet I would never hold what they've done in the past over them. So I don't know. Like you have to wrestle with your own standing on that. Can you continue to support? Like, are you so one direction that you can't look past something? I don't know. So it's just an interesting situation we're in, I think, right now. Interesting time in history we're in right now, with social media.
Absolutely. And just this is like one of those things now for me personally, it's hard to look past something like this, because now for me, it will really have to come down to what exactly were those conversations.
Yeah.
Because if those conversations were like really, really bad, like not even just leaning towards inappropriate, if it was a straight up inappropriate, and even though it said no pictures were involved, you could still sext without sending pictures. So if it's just like, if it was anything leaning towards that area, for me personally, that's something when it comes to dealing with minors, and those are like pedos and such like that. Those are people that I just don't like. Those are my number one most disliked type of people, of all. And it's just like, yeah, it just really would have to come down to what exactly those conversations were, and being as unconfirmed, what exactly was the age of the person.
Yeah.
Because, which would come up in a little bit, but like if that person was like 17 the day before they turned 18 or something like that, still wrong, and even still like wrong if it was just like freshly 18-year-old, even that kind of hits the weird area. It's just like a that's different, but still bad. But it's just like, say if it was worst case scenario, say if this person was like 14, that would be horrible. Horrible. So it would come down to, if I don't know if we'll ever really get those answers, but yeah, it'll come down to like exactly those two things, what the conversations were and exactly what was the age of the person, for me personally. Regarding to being forgivable. I
would agree with you on the fact of like, if it was like, say it's just the worst of the worst case scenario, super young person, really inappropriate messages, just total predatory pedophilia type behavior, I would say, you know what? You might be a changed man. I wish you well on the rest of your life journey, but I can't be there on this journey with you anymore. I can't watch your streams anymore because it's too much. Versus if it was like a 17 and, like you said, 364 days and 23 hours and 59 minutes, would I and he complimented her that she was beautiful, okay, I might have a little bit more forgiveness in my heart and continue to support, because I've seen OnlyFans girls like Bad Baby who the 12 a.m. they turned 18 and they opened their OnlyFans account and 1.7 million horny men flood in. You know what I mean? What's the difference between the 17-year-old who is 17, 364 days, blah, 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 basically a minute before they turned 18? There's no physical difference, anything like that. Yeah, there's like a morality difference, but like it's kind of a double-edged sword, Like, are those people are the ones who are calling Dr. Disrespect a predator? Well, bro, you're a predator too, for like, you're taking advantage of a legal system, Right. It's just it's a freaking double-edged sword, and it's a philosophical question. It's philosophy. It's morality. It's not a question of science or chemistry or biology. All that is irrelevant. It's a philosophical question of, it requires a higher level of thinking of where does your morality stand? So, everyone has different moral values. Some people have no moral values. So it's just I digress. It's something that people have to wrestle with on a personal level, So I'll just leave it at that.
So now, after that, to go into something that is even a bigger issue, is somebody that I don't think they got as much flack as they should have. Now, they were getting some flack, but they weren't getting as much flack as they should have, and that's Twitch. Because pulling up to this tweet right here, it's just like there's like an underlying issue when it comes to stuff like this with Twitch. Like, this person says, this is Raylan. Now, according to him, can't confirm or deny whether or not this is he is indeed this person, but he was saying the Dr. Disrespect situation. I don't think most people have an idea of how bad things were behind the scenes at Twitch. I literally worked in the department that had access to most data and information. I saw private whispers, etc. It was literally my job to investigate daily. I saw things every single day that I wish I have never seen. I never had to see. I always advocated for being a good human, always expressed with heavy emotions on my streams how Twitch lets pedophiles run free every day. I don't even know if you really say that word on YouTube, but whatever. I signed an NDA and afraid to get in trouble, but I have something to say. It's been bothering me so long. These sick fucks don't deserve to be free. So this came out right after all this was going on, which he was now we're just going to go off the assumption that he's indeed the person that he says that he was, that he worked for Twitch, he was able to review the private messages, the private whispers and all that at Twitch. And they saying that Twitch lets these type of people run free every day and is insane, because I don't know if they legally have to like report these type of things, being that they're a private company. But it kind of like taps back into what you're saying, like a morality thing. If you are able to see these type of things from people being messaged to underage people, and you're not reporting on this and not exposing way more people than what there are, that starts showing a bad light on you as a company.
Right.
Like, now one person said, release the whispers, which, again, goes to kind of what I was saying of, I would like to see what the conversations were. But this one, even more so, where this person says, yeah, the messages in question were in 2017, brought up that Doc signed a multi-year deal in March of 2020 before being kicked off the platform in June 2020. And this will beg the question, if these messages were on your platform in 2017 and you were able to have access to this, why would you sign them to a multi-year deal in 2020, 3 years later?
Right.
Just to ban them, was that 3 months after March?
And lose a bunch of money in the process.
What exactly happened for you to do that deal and then release them how you did? That's kind of like confusing to me. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a very I don't even know. It's so okay, so you have this company who has multiple, I mean the age to be on Twitch is 13 plus. Okay, so you already you're already allowing minors on your platform, which is fine. That's fine. I think that is fine. I think it's a good source of like gaming entertainment, whatever. But if you know and you have a department, it sounds like this guy worked in a department specifically for, not this specifically, but to monitor things like this, why are you just sweeping it under the rug? Why are you not banning accounts? And maybe they were, and people would just make new accounts, but there needs to be some kind of verification process. Because, there's many websites and stuff, like, for example, gambling websites. You don't get to just make you can't just make multiple accounts. You have to send in your ID, your social security number, all this stuff, to be able to qualify for it, and they keep extremely tight tabs on that kind of stuff. Now, why can we not take that kind of process, attach it to the Twitch, YouTube, whatever algorithm, and say, okay, if you're claiming to be over 18, you need to provide an ID. Take a picture with the ID. Like they do on multiple other kinds of platforms, And then if you can't, then it forces people to confirm their age to use the platform according to their age. We have, if you're 18 plus, then you are able to, unfortunately, and I say this with a big unfortunately, because I think this is a huge epidemic in our social media era, and it forces, them to separate the Twitch platform that has almost softcore pornography to the people who are 18 and of age to watch that, and the people who are under it they don't have access to that. They don't have access to the streams that are, explicit. So I don't know, I think it's just a very
And also,
slippery slope,
and then also another feature is for the underage folk, messaging is disabled. You can't message people
exactly.
directly
Yes.
unless they're probably of your own same age group. Also verified of age under that age. Okay, maybe you can message those. It's still going to be heavily reviewed and all that stuff. But if you're verified 13, 14, 15, and you're trying to message somebody 18 and above, no go.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not there. The option's just not there.
And it's just like it could be for the most civil, peaceful thing, but we're not taking any chances on it. That would have been a good thing, but
I don't know. I
no.
I have a feeling it comes down to money, and I think Twitch is very money hungry, and they don't want to pay out their 10 cents to a third party company that's going to deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's also two other things. One, I'm gonna say as it's always like money over morality part, and then two, not going to put any accusations on somebody, but usually when somebody lets something go in their company, it reflects to the head of that company.
Right.
Like it could be. Not saying that it is, but it's one of those things. It's like, oh, you're letting a lot of these people run around doing these type of actions. What do you be doing? Why do you allow this type of stuff? So there goes that. And then another tweet to review from Keenstar. So many tweets talking about Dr. Disrespect, talking with a 17-year-old, putting quotes. Let me be clear, there is no credible source giving out the age of the minor. We have no idea how old this person was at the time, which is very interesting because it's just like, that is one thing we do not have confirmed information as to how old the person was, but it's just, and I guess being now maybe the NDA is broken, that is information that I would believe could be released as to how old this person was.
Yeah. It's a very important piece of information.
Very, very important information.
And it just that kind of leads down the path again of like Twitch, like there's no way for one user to know the other user's age except for just asking and hoping they're telling the truth. Like, to be honest, like that's really how it is. And we all know, and if you deny this, you're an idiot, to be honest. We all know that in the age of, in TikTok now, there are girls who I have guessed are in their 20s and they're 13 years old. And I'm a woman. I'm a woman guessing this. I would think I would be able to tell a young woman from a woman my age, and I can't do it. So we're living in a very scary time for men, especially. You shouldn't have to. You know, when I was 13, I looked 13. I wore friggin' baggy clothes and I had greasy hair and like all that. You know, I looked like I was 13. I didn't curl my hair. I wore my hair in a nasty, messy ponytail. I had like a rat's nest. Like, it was just, I looked like I was 13 years old, you know? Like, and now we're living in a society where you can't tell a 13 from a 30-year-old. You know, it's literally 13 going on 30, straight up.
Right. And another thing is, which a lot of people don't talk about, is that we have a culture that this has been going on for years, and we're really, really starting to see the fruit bear from that tree, is the culture of, like, in a sense, aging up the young girls. And what I mean by that is, back in, because I'm 30. When I was a kid, probably around like 10-something, we used to run around and actually, now there were still some that were trying to be too grown and all that, but for the most part, majority of the kids that I see were kids, and they acted like kids.
Yeah.
The ones that were trying to act grown, it was very few of them, and we actually pointed out, "Oh, you're trying to be grown and all that.
Right.
You're trying to act too fast." We were pointed out and kind of shaming a little bit. But in today's time, I'll say definitely like probably late 2000s, the early 2010s, we started to like destigmatize the thought of young girls being a little bit more mature than what they were.
Right.
Like, they dress a certain way, dress a little bit more, damn, they're dressed a little bit more provocative when they're just like, they're like 15, but they're wearing like booty shorts or shit, like crop tops and all that, shit like that. It's just like, why are they wearing stuff like this? But they're children.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in today's time, I also, like you were saying, you can't tell the age of, like, they'd be really young, but they look a lot older. I don't know if it's the food or whatnot, but yeah, it's a lot of girls that are really young, but they're really young, but they look a little bit older. And it's just like, for me as a man, it's just like, damn, if I start to second guess, I'm like, nah, let me back out.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I'm not taking any chances unless I can verify you're indeed that age. It's just like, I don't even want to take a chance with it because I'm not trying to go down that road. So it's very, very treacherous in these times.
And I think that kind of leads back into Twitch is not willing to keep up with the times. Okay, if you see this problem, you see that women, guys are second guessing because they genuinely don't know, then you need to enact some kind of service on your platform because it's your responsibility to protect children. If you're going to allow children on your platform, it's your responsibility to protect them. And sometimes protecting them is also protecting the people who fall prey to things that are not reality, you know? Oh, this girl has to be 25 years old. Well, she's actually 15. That person might genuinely not have any ill will, and yet they're going to get called out for being a predator or a pedophile because they genuinely did not know, which could be the Dr. Disrespect situation, you know? It does not mean that he didn't do anything wrong, but like I said, they have a responsibility to change with the times, and they're not doing that. And I think it needs to be called out, and it needs to be said, because people are so quick to put the hammer on the nail, right? Just drive it home, and they're not even poking at the root cause, what's happening. So again, it's just like we can kind of go into the next ones that kind of support the point that we're making here.
What else do we have here?
Sneeko, are we gonna go to Sneeko?
Dr. Disgusting, says Valkyrie. Yuck, says Pokimane. Everyone hates you, but as soon as that second hits midnight, then she can sign up on OnlyFans, sell her body, and then everyone's going to parade around and say, you go, queen! You're an independent girl boss! Slay! Clown world. I don't know everything about Dr. Disrespect, but what is let's break it down. Pokimane pretty much does softcore porn for 14-year-old boys. Her audience is 95% men who are jerking off the entire stream. Pokey! I want to poke you, Pokey! On Twitch. I might get banned on Twitch by saying this, but it is what it is, bro. They run Twitch because they are turning people into simps. And simping is them, here's another 3,000 gifted, ding, jerking off all day. Most of them are teenagers. Most of them are underage. It doesn't even matter to them because Twitch is 13 plus. So they're okay if you're 13 years old, edging to Pokemon all day. But if Dr. Disrespect texts a girl who's 17 years old, 11 months, 364 days, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. He's the worst person ever. Why? Someone tell me how that makes any sense. And as soon as that second goes away, she's a prostitute. Everybody cheers.
All right. Yeah. When I saw this video, now when it comes to this, now It's I had like mixed views on it because now what Sneeko was saying is indeed true, but when I was looking at the video, it's like two things being argued that don't really
Right,
like
I agree.
correlate.
I agree.
It's just like you're speaking the truth when it's regarding to the culture of how it is with Twitch, like how we were talking about Twitch having the 13-year-old audience and is pretty much softcore porn on Twitch, which that's one bad thing, and that leans towards more towards the culture that Twitch has cultivated and allowed. But then also, it's just like it still does not exonerate Dr. Disrespect
Right.
wrongdoing with speaking to somebody that all accounts look to that he knew was a minor, or if he did know was a minor, that doesn't exonerate him and like make what he did any less bad. So that's where I was feeling with that Sneeko clip, because it was making it like, yes, you're speaking the truth, but yeah, it doesn't really do anything for Dr. Disrespect.
I agree. I think that that clip is more towards the point he was making on Twitch needs to ante up and do something about this, because like he said, like, I know Valkyrie is not on Twitch, but Pokimane is, and I mean, I just saw the other day she posted something on Twitter, and it came across my timeline, and it was her in a very risque looking outfit, posing in very risque looking. I mean, she's on her hands, she's on her knees, making. You just, when you see it, you just know she's not trying to be cute. She's trying to be sexy, And I just think it's funny when certain women decide that they're going to have an opinion on something when they're honestly like not contributing to any kind of solution, just a problem. So
yeah, they try to play the moral high ground when they're in the shitter themselves.
Exactly. So it's just like, like Pokimane could start an OnlyFans tomorrow and everyone would give her high praise, but yet we all know what age her fan base basically is, and that's what she's going to be leading over to that. So it's like it's all a choice. It's all a morality. It's all philosophical. It's all a choice, and they don't think they're doing anything wrong, unfortunately. But I mean, they're not helping their case.
And to go through this, I'll get my point off real quick, because another thing, like what Sneeko was saying was, I think he was saying this regarding to the individual that Dr. Disrespect was speaking to. Let's say if that was indeed her age, was and how you brought up bad baby. This stupid ass name. The bad baby earlier is like when she turned 18. And how many, like, the weird dudes that was subscribing to her now, we point out how weird those dudes are, and rightfully so, because, like, right when she turned 18, y'all all subscribed, but we don't point a light to she just turned 18 and did this, and it's just like, that's absolutely fine, there's no problem with that. But it's like, even though...
Yeah, what changed except for a literal second in the time? Like, nothing in her body changed, nothing, like, her brain didn't grow, or anything like that. Like, nothing biologically changed.
It's still inappropriate nonetheless. Another person that was kind of echoing the same thing that Sneeko was saying was the quartering. So no, he's like a right-wing commentator. He was saying maybe all the whores on Twitch, all the whores using Twitch, a 13-plus website to sell, lose to children, sit the whole Dr. Disrespect conversation out. I see a whole lot of female child predators, in my opinion, sticking their herpes-riddled faces into this to moralize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely right in the fact of, like, if you're going to try and dish out something, like, you've got a point, then you probably shouldn't be doing porn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be doing something that's adding to the degeneracy of society. Have some kind of moral high ground to stand on before you get cut off at the knees, So it's
like an actual legit footing with the moral ground you're trying to speak from. I think he had another one. This was responding to somebody that was attacking him, saying, "So you want to protect kids, but you're just going to ignore the definition of what a pedophile is." Both big woke companies put out sexual outfits for minors and their groomers, but Dr. Disrespect factually, I think, is going into messaging a 17-year-old and all that. And he responded, someone who is 17 years, 364 days old is considered a minor. If they are dating an 18-year-old and 1 day old person, is that person a pedo? Look, if Dr. Disrespect was trying to sext a 12-year-old, I'll be the first one in line to recommend the wood chipper. Now, regarding this one I brought up because I found this one to be kind of like a false equivalency, because there is nuance when it comes to, which is, it's a funny thing to kind of go into like a quick side tangent. It's a lot of conversations come up like this where they bring up, oh, this person is 17, but they could date like a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they bring up, like, and a lot of times in these conversations, they'll bring up age of consent in certain states. Those ones is just like, well, in certain states, depending on what you're talking about, there's a age limit of what you can really do with a person that's that young.
Right.
So depending where it is, that person you're saying they're 17, but they're dating a person that's 18 in 1 day. Is that 18-year-old pedo? No, because they're still within that legal age range that they can actually talk to that person. Dr. Disrespect would not be in that age range. He's well over that. He's like pretty much twice over that, talking to somebody that is 17, 364 days. So it would still be wrong. So in that case, now, even with the definition, technically he's not a pedophile, he's an epiphile, but don't need to go into that.
Right.
And just to wrap it all up, there was the last thing that came out. It's an unconfirmed tweet, but it would kind of insinuate there might be more that comes out, but who knows? This one was from a call of shame, so take this with a grain of salt. It said, breaking news confirmed. Dr. Disrespect was reported by Twitch to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children when they were illegally recording whispers by the doc back in 2017. A full investigation was authorized and no wrongdoing was found and no illegal activity took place by Dr. Disrespect. No arrests were made and no charges were filed, thus adding more weight that Dr. Disrespect is innocent, this is indeed looking like a witch hunt by ex-Twitch employees to frame Dr. Disrespect. Unconfirmed, it is also reported that the minor was actually a former Twitch employee pretending to be a 17-year-old girl and was trying to bait Dr. Disrespect with entrapment techniques while this ex-Twitch mods illegally recorded it all. They were fired soon after and sued by Dr. Disrespect's legal team. They are very bitter over this and why this whole thing is coming out for the second time after it was already been dealt with. Now, again, unverified, so we can't really go too far with this and really take this for fact. But even with this, that would kind of line, let's say this is true, it would kind of line up with a lot of things like how the civil suit was. And Dr. Disrespect sued Twitch for it during the ban, which, if you have any common sense, it wouldn't make sense if Dr. Disrespect were to sue Twitch knowing he was messaging a minor. So it kind of doesn't make sense there. So that would kind of give that somewhat validity, that it was something off was there. Like, say, if it was the Twitch employees pretending to be a minor and somehow he found out, however you would, that would kind of make sense. But let's say if it wasn't and they were pretending to be a minor, that would still look bad on Dr. Disrespect's part because he was still messaging what he might have thought was a minor, or if he didn't know. So it's just like, if I would love to see if any of that information, I don't know if it will be, if any of that information could be verified, if any of that could be verified, that might make a lot of difference into this whole situation. But who knows if we're ever going to get that.
Yeah, that would definitely be a very interesting turn of events for sure. But
yeah, that is everything that we have thus far.
Yeah, I don't have any more comments. Do you have any more comments about anything?
No, we'll just have to. This might have been the end of the whole Dr. Disrespect situation, but if anything else more were to come out, I guess we can review it if it does.
Yep, and we'll review it. We can make a part 2. But for now, just comment below what you guys think about the situation, your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to both of our channels, and like I said, let us know in the comments. Like, what is your verdict? What do you base your accusations on? Like, what evidence do you base it on? Everything we want to know. Comment below.
All right. Oh, and before we go, Shay, could you just give your channel name for the people that will watch my channel, and I can give mine for the people that might watch your channel?
Yep, for sure. If you're watching this on Nas channel, then literally you can just type in Lady Apricity. All my socials are the same, Lady Apricity, and you can hop on over to my channel as well. That is my gaming channel. I will be making a second channel for this video, actually. That will be Lady Apricity Reacts. So if you want to hop over and subscribe to either of those channels or both, that would be awesome. And thank you so much.
All right. And my channel, for the people that will be on Shay's channel, is Nesh Entertainment. Is NESH Entertainment, where I do a lot of reactions to music, YouTube videos, anime content, various different reactions that I do. So go ahead, check that out, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff.
Awesome.
All right.